Good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of our Oakland Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show 23, where we are going to have another CPU versus CPU episode, something that I like to sprinkle in occasionally against one of the more promising young talented teams in the MLB in the Baltimore Orioles, a team we have yet to face. Sooner or later, I'd like to start getting some games against the division. I just felt like the Baltimore Orioles are a fun team to face off against, and we haven't seen them yet. So I'd like to get some gameplay in with Jack Flaherty for the first time in this series. So we will simulate the first a couple of games in this series in which we won both of them, which is quite impressive. As like I said, I do believe the Baltimore Orioles to be quite a good team. And first game we won 5-1. JT Ginn pitched 5 2/3 innings, got some strikeouts along the way, and then Trevor Rogers ended up pitching 8 innings for us with 5 strikeouts and 2 runs and 0 earned runs. So really good game pitched by Trevor Rogers. RBIs by a bunch of different people pitching on that one. And so can we secure, is the word I was searching for, a series win against Baltimore here in the rain in front of our Oakland crowd? We've had a good run starting off playing against teams at home. You always like to have the home crowd behind you. Jack Flaherty will start off against Cedric Mullins. On out to Ian Happ, who catches it in foul territory to get the first out of the day, bringing up Jorge Mateo. Full count. He swings. This one's popped up for Tyler Soderstrom, able to track the ball and come down with it. First 2 batters retired to start this game. Joey Meneses batting in the 3 spot. He swings and misses at the high fastball, and that will be a strikeout to end the first inning. A strong start for Flaherty in this one, of course. He's had a really good start to the year, and so I'd like to see that continue in this game. Bobby Witt gets jammed on the inside on the full count pitch to start our day, so he will fly out to first, bringing up Gleyber Torres. He's being aggressive, swinging on the first pitch of the at-bat, but it goes straight to third base. Round out, and our first 2 batters retired without much problem here. Ian Happ. This one's deep into foul territory. And that's, a ball that wouldn't be out in most fields, but on ours, with the foul territory, that could almost be a baseball field unto itself. So it feels like sometimes that will be an out. And speaking of outs, what a knuckle curve low in the zone to get the first out of the second inning. Nice 8-inch break there on that one. Brings up Adley Rutschman, probably the best young catcher in the game. And Boyce McDermott shows off his range over in left field. His speed has certainly been an asset over there, and he's kind of probably masked some of his lower fielding ratings. And another strikeout to end the second third of the outing for Flaherty. Very nice start for him. He's looking like he might continue that hot start that he's had to this season. Of course, was our best pitcher last year, despite the, Trevor Rogers was the ace. I think he was the best, and he's been really good this year as well. Franmil Reyes gets a decent hold of this ball, but it will be tracked down and caught in center field by Cedric Mullins, bringing up Boyce McDermott, who has had a very strong start to his career, playing in the majors at the age of just 18 years. Is quite impressive. He will go down on this at-bat, though. Seth Brown, 0-0 pitch. He's swinging at the low fastball. It will be corralled by Jackson Merrill, and that'll be an out. So both teams are retired quietly through 2 innings. Potentially the start of a decent pitcher's duel in this one here in the rain. Lawrence Butler tracks that one in center field, and still nobody has been able to get on base in this game. 0-2 for Colton Cowser. He gets a hold of this one, but Ramon Laureano should easily track it down. And the excellent pitching on both sides continues. And we go 1-2-3 for the 3rd time. Already Jack Flaherty gets the low ball, and a diving play made by Bobby Witt. He gets the throw in time. What a play. We've seen kind of the ups and downs of having Bobby Witt as a shortstop. Sometimes he makes excellent plays like that. We've seen other excellent plays, and sometimes he's coming up with some not so great errors. So I guess you got to take the highs with the lows. Tyler Soderstrom will strike out to start the bottom of the 3rd. Lawrence Butler falls behind 0-2 and will be caught out. Neither team has had any success at all. And a beautiful cutter on the top of the zone will continue that streak. Neither team has a hit through 3 full innings in this one. Cedric Mullins looks to end that, but should be an easy play over for Gleyber Torres, and it is. So the question in this game is who's going to be able to break the seal, because both pitchers have done a good job forcing ground balls, strikeouts, and flies. And both these teams have good offensive players. We're not, top of the league by any means, but you'd think at some point somebody's going to have to break the seal. And once again, Boyce McDermott showing off the speed, tracking down that ball in foul territory. And the top of the 4th goes down quietly. Bobby Witt back up to the plate for the 2nd time as the order flips finally for the Athletics here in the 4th inning. But he will strike out. Gleyber Torres, I do not know what he's waiting for there. You've got to swing at that. That's a very hittable pitch. What are you waiting for, my guy? Especially with 2 strikes, how are you not swinging at that? Ian Happ, it's not like it was a breaking ball either. He gets some solid contact here. One of the few times we've done that in this entire game, but both times it's kind of been hit right at an outfielder. So 4th goes down quietly. 4 continued innings without a hit. How far into this game can we go before the first hit? It's not going to happen here. Mountcastle is retired to start top of the 5th. Adley Rutschman up to the plate. Chopper to 3rd. Ian Happ makes the play, and we're out away from 5 clean innings from Jack Flaherty. 3-1 pitch will be called a ball, and so the perfect game is done. There is a man on base, but a no-hitter still in play. And that will continue to be the case here as Bobby Witt gets the force out at 2nd. 5 scoreless innings brings up Franmil Reyes to start. Could really use some of that power that he has shown already this season. And he gets a hold of this one. It will hit the gap, and there we have it. I don't plan on celebrating hits too often in this series, but hey, when the first one comes in the 5th inning, it's cause for celebration. On the 0-1 pitch, though, by McDermott is a short fly, and Mountcastle able to easily corral it, bringing up Seth Brown. He gets a nice hittable pitch, and this one goes fairly deep, but not nearly deep enough. And it looks like we are in danger of wasting a lead-off hit, as we just haven't been able to gain any momentum off of it. But the 3-2 pitch is down below the zone for Tyler Soderstrom. So now we have a man in scoring position. Lawrence Butler's been clutch for us very often in this series. Can he come through again? Not this time around. So 5 shutout innings on both sides for this game. Brings up top of the 6th. Flaherty will start it with another strikeout. Beautiful throw on the bottom of the zone. Only at 66 pitches at this point, too. You wonder how deep he can go into this game, but there we have it. Jackson Holliday will get on base with a hit to left field. Cedric Mullins will watch the knuckle curve down at the bottom of the zone. He's not very happy about that call, but it was definitely the correct one. The entire ball was inside the strike zone. I don't know what you're looking there for there, Cedric. I don't know what to tell you. Jorge Mateo will get this one, and all of a sudden it's Baltimore with a man in scoring position with 2 outs. And we keep them from bringing a run across the board, much like they did us. Joey Meneses will get this one into the gap, right center field, and that's going to bring home a run easily. And it will bring home another. And just like that, the seal was finally broken. Unfortunately, not by us, but by the Baltimore Orioles. This one's hit deep into right field. This one will touchdown as well. And we're going from 0-0 all of a sudden to a 3-score inning for the Orioles. And it might not even be over. Ryan Mountcastle coming through clutch. But that will be the end of Jack Flaherty's day. He pitched 5 excellent innings and really 2 outs into the 6th as well, but just kind of fell apart with this 2-out rally by the Orioles. That will be a nice play made at third for Ian Happ, and the bleeding will stop. But based on the way our offense has been going, I don't know if we can overcome, can we score 3 runs in 4 innings? We'll start nicely there with a walk by Ramon Laureano, and then Bobby Witt gets beamed right in the shoulder. So now we got a run man in scoring position with no outs, and Gleyber Torres gets us into the gap. Can that send Ramon Laureano home? It will. And out of nowhere, we go through 5 innings where no runs were scored. Now both teams get on the board in the 6th. Still no outs. You got to be feeling pretty good about this 6th inning. But Ryan Mountcastle with an incredible play at first base, diving and snagging the liner by Ian Happ. That looked like it was going to be a second run for the Athletics. Instead, it'll be an out, but a wild pitch here will bring Bobby Witt to third. You'd think with the speed he could get it, but that play will end the inning. Austin Hayes up, and Boyce McDermott has showed off his speed on a number of occasions here in today's game. And with 1 out, Colton Cowser gets a hold of this one to center field, but routine play made by Lawrence Butler. I really like the range that our outfield has. I feel like everybody's either at least average or above average speed for their position. But nice pitch there by Waldichuk to get Holliday to chase. Speaking of chasing, we get a chase there by our boy Boyce McDermott for strike 3. Need to start to build some momentum here, but we're instead just getting struck out left and right. Dean Kramer out here pitching an absolute beaut through 7 innings, and he strikes out the side in this 7th inning. Wow. For a pitcher that I didn't even know, this guy is absolutely tearing us apart. Ken Waldichuk couldn't find the zone to lead off the 8th, and that will put Mullins on the base path. This one's lifted to center, and Lawrence Butler able to track it down. So 1 on and 1 down here top of the 8th. We cannot allow the Baltimore Orioles to extend their lead. I already feel like 2 runs in 2 innings is going to be tough for this offense. We don't want to put ourselves in a position where we need even more, but Waldichuk once again cannot find the zone, putting Mullins in scoring position. This one finds the gap, and that will bring home Cedric Mullins, and just like I was hoping we could avoid, Baltimore will extend their lead now 4-1. This one is made a double play. Nice job by Ian Happ to corral and get ball quickly over second. But Lawrence Butler here strikes out to start the 8th. We really need to get something going here in the 8th inning. Laureano instead grounds out. Things are looking increasingly more like an Athletics loss here. But the order flips over. We got the top of our order, which is, as you might suspect, much stronger than the bottom. Bobby Witt will get on base, start us off. Gleyber Torres 3-1 pitch is outside. He gets on base. Once again, we've got 2 outs. A man in scoring position. Can we bring him home? A wild pitch is going to bring both runners up a base. So a base hit here. We could be talking about 2 runs coming across. Borderline pitch there will be called for a ball, and Ian Happ will load the bases. Can Franmil Reyes in the 4th spot come in and hit a grand slam? That would be about as good as you could possibly get. Baltimore makes a pitching change ahead of this at-bats. Won't be a grand slam, but it will bring across a run. Bobby Witt will cross home plate, and that will bring up one of the best performers that we've had this year on the team in Boyce McDermott. But this one, he cannot come through for us. It really felt like if we were going to come back in this game, we needed to take advantage of that opportunity, bring in more than 1 run in that inning. As now we're going to be at the bottom of the order in the 9th, but there is still hope. We just need to have a clean inning here. Luis Oviedo will come in for the 9th inning. He'll end up walking Austin Hayes there. They'll say he did not go around, which hard to argue with that logic. And then Colton Cowser lifts this one into center field. Lawrence Butler has an easy read on it. The throw will keep the runner at first. And so now we just need 1 more out to keep it just a 2-run lead to overcome. Gleyber Torres makes a nice play deep there at second base. And that will keep the Orioles lead at 4-2. But the bottom of the order, can they come through in the 9th? It will not start well with Seth Brown. And brings up Tyler Soderstrom, who I think has some good ability as he draws a walk there. But Lawrence Butler, he couldn't come through for us earlier. Can he come through now? Instead, he gets struck out. It just didn't seem like our day at the plate today. You know, you don't want your last out to be decided by the 9th hitter in your lineup. That's just how things shook out in the end. He strikes out. Orioles will pick up a 4-2 victory and give themselves a chance to tie this series at 2-2 with our next matchup. The first 5 innings looked like a really, really good pitcher's duel. Until Jack Flaherty just had a really bad 6th. And we just couldn't recover from that at the end of the day. That 3-0 lead was the reason that we lost. Something that I want to do more in this series, I feel like I haven't done a good enough job, is just kind of talk about where the team is at in certain areas. We are 23rd in the league in batting average. See there are top 3 players. Bobby Witt leading us in at-bats, along with Reyes and Happ. In terms of runs, we're close to the top 10. Bobby Witt leads us. Their hits, we are 27th. Doubles, we're doing really well with Boyce McDermott and that speed, giving us 11 of those. Bobby Witt with 9, along with Ian Happ. I mean, if you had to rank for me, probably our best 3 hitters, that would be them, so that would make sense. Triples, Bobby Witt is the only one with more than 1 on the squad. And then for home runs, we are currently ranked 12th. Not bad at all. Gleyber Torres leads us there with Franmil Reyes, and Boyce McDermott tied for 2nd with 6. RBIs, looks like we are at least league average. We will be coming at 11, so just shy of top 10 again, with Gleyber Torres leading us there. Steals, tied for 20th. Caught stealing, looks like we're not too bad there. 17, so pretty average there. Percentages, I think, is a good thing to indicate our steals. We're 21st at 63%. How often do we reach base on balls? Not the absolute best there. Strikeouts tied for 20th. Slugging, I think we should be decent at. Our power isn't bad at all. We end up 12th, 429. Gleyber Torres leading us in that category on base percentage, about league average at 315. Total bases, we are 17th. So I think generally, if we're talking about where the team is, not really top 10 in anything. There are certain metrics, I think especially kind of more power metrics, where we're somewhere in that 11 to 18 range in a lot. And then there's also quite a few rankings that we are bottom 5 or bottom 10 in the league as well. So I've yet to find really something that can be a defining factor for the team in terms of like, this is what our team identity is, until we get to ERA. Our pitching actually to start this year has been really good, and I knew we had to be good at something. Our record's actually pretty solid. And it looks like pitching is actually our strong suit to start the season, and I'm not surprised. Almost every game except for maybe the JT Ginn game that we've come into, the pitching was really solid in it, and maybe a little bit surprised based on ratings, but on the performances that we've seen, they've all been good. So I'm not surprised that we rank in the top of the league to start the year there. So now, I thought going into the season that the team was much better hitting than pitching, and maybe by the end of the year that will be the case. But at least to start out, this team is being carried by the pitching a little bit. And I think it's partly because Jack Flaherty's been better than I think he will be by at the end of the year. He's been really, really good. And then at least he was part of this episode. Maybe he's cooled down a little bit. Let's get into these player stats. I want to talk both minor league and major league here. Starting with minors, Rene Hernandez has been quite good for us. 0.5 WAR, hitting over 300. Those contact stats are in a good spot. And then Alex Onquist has been absolutely on fire. OPS over 1,000, average at 375, slugging over 500. He has been absolutely awesome to start the year for us at AA. Still needs a lot of work at playing a position, but in terms of him being a DH, he might not be far away at all. So that's really exciting. Eduardo Silva here, average at 276 with 4 home runs. That's pretty good for us over there in our AAA program, something that we've yet to take a look at this year. Probably will at some point. We've got quite a few long-term hopeful impact players on our AAA team right now. Alex Onquist is leading us in WAR. That's no surprise. His hitting is something crazy. The fact that our 2 best long-term prospects are leading our respective 2 minor teams in WAR is quite exciting. Wes McDermott with half a WAR. We're being led by Gleyber Torres, so that so far is looking like quite a good off-season acquisition, especially because he didn't start all too well. I think after the first episode, he had yet to get his first hit. So start slow, and he's gotten to this point where he's leading us in WAR by quite a lot. Is impressive, but there's kind of the team update and how we're doing to start this year. That's all I have for this episode. I will be back soon with another, and I will see you then.